So I'm going to be showing you a session taken from a training program which is a pre-rotation training program for hamstring strains. But the client's aim is to improve hamstring strength as well as cardiovascular fitness. So we start off with the warm-up. So my client has started warming up, so they're going to do 5 minutes on the bike. They've already done about 4.5 minutes. So the reason we're using 5 minutes to warm up, so we're using the acronym RAMP within the warm-up. So R is raised, so here we're raising the heart rate, breathing rate, blood flow and joint viscosity using a lower intensity activity. So if we'll stop there, and then we're going to, now the next part of RAMP is to activate and mobilise, so we're going to do dynamic stretching to do this. So to start with, we'll step up here, we're going to do some lunges. So when we lunge forward, you'll just take a step forward and make sure you have 90 here. Okay. Make sure you're not taking such a big step, so step forward and bend. Step forward and bend. Okay, so we're just using this to activate the muscles, mobilise the joints. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this movement like that, and then we're going to bring our hands up like that. And this is going to really stretch the calves and the hamstrings. So it's just a dynamic movement that we're doing. Okay, the next one we're going to do is really good for the abductors, so it's called open the gate. So what we're going to do is go put your leg up straight out and then to the side. And then walk forward a bit, and then we'll do the next leg. So this is just really trying to activate and mobilise the hip joints in particular, as well as the abductor muscles. So the next one is for the adductors. So this time you go out at the side and then in, so it's the opposite of what we've just done. Do the other leg. So this is called open the gate. Okay, then we'll just stand in the middle, and we're going to be doing some arm work in our session. So we're just going to get the arms moving. So we're going to start off with our arms going backwards, big circles, and then they're going to get smaller and smaller. So again, this is just mobilising the shoulder joints, so start getting smaller now. And then go the other way, starting from smaller, and then getting bigger. Okay, so the next part of RAMP is potentiate. So to do this is just getting your heart rate up for the subsequent activity. So we're going to come down to the step here, and we're going to be doing box jumps. So normally you do 4 to 6 reps, but here we're just going to do a few reps to show you what it's like. So I'll demonstrate it first. So you just want to bend at the knees, use your arms, make sure you're looking forward, and push up. And land with soft feet. So bend at the knees and up. Nice, and do 2 more of them. And 1 more. Keep the back straight. Good. So hopefully after we've done the warm-up, we will feel warmed up, hopefully, you know, got our heart rate raised, etc. So now we're moving on to the main session. So for this, we're going to be doing 4 sets of 6 reps of each exercise and 2 to 3 minutes rest in between everything, between each set. This is because the most effective thing shown for hypertrophy development. Also throughout, I'll be reminding the client throughout as well to make sure they engage their core, because this can help with core stability as well. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is a Romanian deadlift. So all you need to do is you need to have your feet shoulder width apart. You need to hold down the resistance band so that you pull up, there's enough resistance. You want to bend at the knee, feet facing forward, and as you push your hips forward, make sure you're facing forward, and you're going to squeeze the glutes at the top. So you're going to bend those knees and squeeze the glutes at the top. Okay, so it's really important to make sure that your knees aren't going in or out as well when you do that. So make sure shoulder width apart, good. So bend your knees down, get in a good starting position, look forward, back straight, and then lift up. Nice, that's good. And the same again. So this is really good for glute and hamstring activation. And we'll do 3 more. So you can make it easier by using an easier resistance band, and then you can make it harder, so 2 more. You can make it harder by adding weight to the resistance band, or you can also wrap a resistance band around them. Okay, so obviously they would carry on until they've done 4 sets of 6 reps. So the next activity we're going to be doing is what we call a superset. So this is where you're doing 2 exercises back to back. So in this case it's going to be a single leg squat and a single leg Romanian deadlift. So the same again, you would do 6 reps on the left leg, 6 reps off the right leg for 1 exercise, Do the same for the next exercise and then rest, so you're not having your rest until the end. So single leg squat to start with, you need to have your weight on one leg. You need to lift this leg up, both legs you need a slight bend in the knee. You need to look forward, have a straight back, holding the weight with both hands, and as you push the weight out, your knee goes back. So you really engage in your glutes, quads and hamstrings as you do this. It's quite challenging, but it's better to keep a good technique if you can only reach there. So after you've done that, you do it on the right leg, and then you go on to the single leg Romanian deadlift. So to do this again, you have one leg on your leg you're standing, planted, a slight bend in that knee, and then what you're going to do is you're going to lean forward, and as the weight goes forward, your leg goes back. So keeping a straight leg, keeping your back straight, as the weight touches the floor, you come back up, and you do that again. So you do 6 reps on each side, okay? So if you give that one a go, so the first one was the single leg squat. So yep, stand shoulder width, just shoulder width apart there, or you want your leg more in the middle. So you stand on your left leg to start with? Yep, and then so you're gonna start the weight in towards your chest, and then you're gonna push the weight out as your leg goes back. Keep that foot off the ground. Slow action, slow. Good, and keep that up again. So with any sorts of squats, you need to make sure your knees, so 2 more reps, you need to make sure that your knee isn't going over your foot. And one more, making sure obviously they're engaging the core and they have a straight back. So then we're going to do the single leg Romanian deadlift. So with that one, obviously on your left leg again, weight in this side, weight on that side, and then obviously you're going to have a straight leg, and then you're going to go down, touch the ground and back up. Okay, so let's see you do that. Straight leg, you've got a bent leg, might just take a step forward so you've got more room there. So bend the left leg a bit, which you're stood on, and then the right leg is going to go straight back. Okay, good, that's better. So that really activates the hamstring and the glutes. Try and just slow the movement down so it's controlled, and with this you still want to keep a straight back, make sure your core is engaged. Good. So just briefly on the progressions for them, with the first exercise, the single leg squat, to make it harder you can do a pistol squat, which is the same thing, but instead of your leg going back, you have a straight leg and you go down as far as you can. To make it easier, you can do a box squat, which is where your foot is resting on a box behind you, and then you can go down like that, so you've got the stability from the box. With the single leg Romanian deadlift, you can obviously, if it's too hard, you can decrease the sets, the reps, the weight. If it's too easy, you can add the sets, the reps and the weight, so that's very easy to change. Next one we're going to be doing is lunges, but where you're going to be holding your arms in the air. So with this exercise, again, this is really good for the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads and the calves. So what you want to do is you want to start off with the weights in the air. So you're going to take a step forward, you're going to look forward, and you're going to have that 90-90 bend. Take another step forward, making sure you're keeping your arms aren't dropping as you're doing it. Okay, so you also want to keep a straight back as well. So if you try that. So remember, good, that's good. So making sure you're getting that 90-90 bend. Just go down a bit lower at the back. There you go. And another one. Good. Just do one more back. It's just really important to get that 90-90 bend and stop there, so you're not taking too much of a bigger step. So obviously you carried on for 6 reps and then repeat that another 3 times. So that one, to make it easier, you can use your body weight rather than holding the weights in the air. Some people might struggle with that. To make it harder, obviously more reps and sets will obviously increase the strain. So the last exercise that you're going to be doing is a glute bridge with a weight. So for this one, you'll be lying down. You want to have about 90-degree bend in the knees. Your feet need to be pushed into the floor. And then you're going to have the weight here, like so. So you can probably hold on to the weight so you've got that extra weight on you when you're doing the glute bridge. And what you want to do is you want to push into your heels and squeeze your glutes at the top. So your shoulders, hip and knee are all in line. So squeeze the glutes at the top so it's a nice slow and controlled movement. So you should really feel this in the glutes and hamstrings. Okay? So there's the weight. So yeah, good 90-90 bend. that's good. So as you can see, they've got the shoulder, hips and the knee all in line in a really controlled movement. If they were struggling with this, you could take the weight off. If they're finding it too easy, you could get them to do a straight leg glute bridge, so one of their glutes is a straight leg. So one more rep and stop there. Perfect, I'll grab that weight for you. So the last thing that we're going to be doing is, now the main set is over, we're going to be doing a cool down. So as part of the cool down, to start with, we're going to do 10 minutes running. We would usually do this on the treadmill, but obviously we don't have access to that. So you probably wouldn't do running on a spot, so you can just get them to go for a 10-minute run. Obviously telling them is at a zone 1, so like I told them that the cycling was at, so that means that you need to be below 60% of maximum heart rate, is at a low intensity for a reasonably short duration, and they're not really exerting much, so they're about 6 or 9 on the ball scale. So to start with, we're just going to do some running on the spot. So this is just at a low intensity to get your heart rate back down, to get your controlling your breathing rate again, because when you go through that main session at an intense rate, you should be quite tired by the end of it. So we'll stop now. After you've done that for 10 minutes or so, we'll then do some stretching. So we'll start off with the figure 4 stretch. So if you go on the floor, and what you're going to do is you put one leg over the other, and you pull here. We've done the opposite legs, but that's fine. And if you pull here more, you're really going to feel the stretch. You should feel it in the other leg, in your glutes and hamstrings. And we'll do the other leg. Normally we do these stretches for about 30 seconds, because that's when between 30 and 45 seconds is when it becomes a development stretch rather than a maintenance stretch, so you should be improving your flexibility. Obviously there's other ones we can do for your legs, so you can do standing up, obviously stretching your quad. You can do the seated groin stretch, obviously the calf stretch when you're standing up, but we're going to do one for our back now, so our thoracic and lumbar. So you're going to put one leg across. If you do the same leg as me, it makes it easier. And then you're going to put your arm here, and then you're going to face this way, and you should feel the stretch all the way down here. And you just push a bit more to feel it in your back. It's a really good stretch for your back. And the same with that, obviously, because you're utilising your core, this is really good to stretch after. And we'll do the other side. So static stretching is really important, just to try and maintain the flexibility after you've done the exercise, and it can also prevent muscle tension as well. So obviously other back stretches, you can go in when you're lying prone, you can go into extension, and then you can go back. You can do the one where you're in bird dog position and flexing, extending. That's really helpful as well. So the last stretch we're going to do is we're going to stand up. So as we did a bit of upper body with the lunges, we're just going to do a stretch for our triceps. So you're going to put one arm over and then pull to increase the stretch. So we would hold that for 30 to 45 seconds, and then we'd do the other arm. And yeah, so that concludes our session.